Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a lovely day. The sky is so blue and it's really sunny and warm here, so it just puts everyone in such a lovely mood. So I've had a really nice day at work. I've come home, and to have something quite easy but also light and delicious for dinner, I'm going to do some cooking with you guys today. So a bit of a cook with me type video, which I know we've not done before, but my aim and my overall goal is to create a Slimming World style crustless quiche. Now, some of you at home might have made that already. I certainly have a lot of the times in the past. It's always turned out really good. You don't need to, for on Slimming World, you don't need to measure anything in regards like eggs, vegetables, chicken, etc. that goes into it. Today we're going to be including the turkey rashers, and we've also got some mushrooms, we've got some hick chicken sausages that we need to use up, and we've also got some cherry tomatoes and some baby spinach as well. Now, for any of you that are familiar with Slimming World or lower fat recipes, you do need to include some eggs in this. Now, the original recipe I looked at, just for guidance, advice for 4 people, you had to use 6 eggs and 300 grams of cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese. Today I will be using just the 150 grams, it's just for myself and my husband, and just the 3 eggs instead of the 6. And we've also got varying amounts of cherry tomatoes, etc. that we can chop up and put in. Now, I'm not going to measure anything, I'm just going to put in enough for what I think's enough to go into the dish. And obviously we need to mix it all up, stir it, pop it in the oven, and then we'll obviously do a little bit of a taste test and show you what the product looks like at the end. So let's get started. So guys, I've just started preheating the oven here. We've got our eggs in a bowl, which we will whisk up at the end. We've got our hick chicken Italia sausages here and our turkey bacon rashers. Now, it is on a red board. We do have a couple of different coloured boards in the house, and obviously it's raw meat, plus we've got raw eggs, so I like to keep all of that together, and I will deal with this section at the end, just so there's no cross-contamination of the vegetables and the cottage cheese as well. So I hope that's okay, but that's generally how I do things at home, and I've got everything sort of set up as well, just so I can put stuff in as and when it's ready. So we'll just chop up our mushrooms. We'll just move on to cutting up our cherry tomatoes now. And we will have a look at our baby spinach. Now, I'm going to put quite a bit in, but it will wilt down in the mixture, plus it'll always also wilt down in the oven as well. So it does look like quite a lot, but as you know, if you deal with spinach quite a lot at home, what you have in the bag turns out to be very little once it's cooked or wilted in the pan or in the oven. It's full of nutrients and vitamins, so really keen to pack as much in there as we can. Okay, so we're going to put in half of this tub. So it's fat-free natural cottage cheese, and we're using half. The tub itself is 300 grams, and we will make it 150 grams for the meal tonight. Put that aside. Now we've got our 3 eggs, so I'm just going to add them straight into the cottage cheese mix. I'll also add in a little bit of pepper and a little bit of sea salt as well, so I'll do that now before I forget. I like to put quite a lot of pepper in this just because there's a lot of vegetables, and I want to sort of bring the flavours out from the vegetables. I might just put a little bit more sea salt in there as well as I say that. So yeah, we'll add in our eggs to the mix and then we'll whisk it all together. The first time I made this recipe, I must admit I was a bit reluctant. Not because I don't like eggs or cottage cheese or quiche for that fact, but because I was really concerned that I wouldn't like it. I couldn't work out why or how cottage cheese would go with what we were making basically as a quiche. But I'll just give my hands a quick rinse. But it did turn out really good. I think the quiche was one of my favourite things I ever made when I was on Slimming World in the past, and it did taste a lot better than what I thought it would. So yeah, if you've not tried this, it might not look the most appealing when you start whisking in all of the egg to the cottage cheese, but believe me, it does puff up quite a bit in the oven, and like I said, I've always had really good results with it. It's a really quick dinner. You can make it a sort of breakfast one, you can make it for lunch. You know, it really just does depend what you've got in the cupboard, and you don't really need anything specific. You can put anything you've got in it. It could be chicken, it could be vegetables, you can have cheese in it. We're not having cheese in it just now, but the recipe on the Slimming World website does say that you can have cheese in it if you want, but we're not going down that route today. What I'll do just quickly is pop in some fry light into the oven dish that we're going to be using. So again, both of our dishes are glass. I just prefer the glass ones, but I'll just spray this quickly just so we can release the quiche at the end without too many problems. Now I know fry light for some people is not something they want to use. It can unfortunately ruin pans depending on which material they're made from. We're quite lucky the fact that our frying pans are non-stick, and they're very, very good non-stick pans, so we don't really need to use the fry light in the pans. But on the glass dishes clean up really, really well, so I'm not concerned about using it, but I do understand people that may have a little bit of a reservation about using the fry light. So anyway, we'll move on to cutting up our turkey rashers. Now, how many have we got left? We've got 4, so that works out 2 each, which is not bad. And we've also got our chicken sausages. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll use 4, and then we've got 4 left, and that can be for another time, maybe breakfast tomorrow, who knows. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll just cut these into strips. And the thing is, I know this is raw, but when you're popping it into the quiche itself, this will cook in the oven extremely quickly. If in any doubt, put some foil over your quiche and pop it in the oven again for an extra 5-10 minutes. It won't dry out, it won't burn if you pop your foil on top, and it just makes sure that it's absolutely cooked. But I've done this before and I know it does work, so I'm not worried about it. Again, with the chicken sausages, we'll just cut them into sort of slices. Now, it's up to yourself. I didn't actually have time tonight to cook all of this sort of raw meat, if you like, beforehand. You can, if you've got cooked meat in the fridge, you can use that to put in your quiche as well. and obviously it's whatever works for you, it's what you've got available in the house. So it's using up the leftovers with a little bit of egg and a little bit of cottage cheese, which most people I'm sure would be able to buy or have in their fridge already without spending too much money, and putting it in the oven for between 15 to 20 minutes or a little bit extra depending on how big your dish is or how many portions you're making. Then obviously that's up to yourselves, but certainly for us I think it's not too bad having the oven on for maybe 15-20 minutes or so. It's preheated now, I just heard it click off there. So yeah, we'll just get together, we'll get on with mixing up everything and we'll pop it into our dish. Okay, so we have our sort of vegetable mix here. Again, mushrooms, tomatoes, spinach, they all wilt down quite considerably if you guys are used to using them at home. So there's a little bit more in there than I would normally have liked to have, but it's not going to come to much once it's cooked. So it's just being mindful of that when you're putting stuff in a bowl. It looks a lot, but it probably won't turn out that way once it's cooked. So we'll just pour this over the top. Some people prefer to put the mixture in first and then fold the vegetables into it, but certainly for myself I prefer to do it this way so that the mixture goes like over the top and everything already starts to get covered in the mix, which is good. So we'll just give it a good stir round. So yeah, we've done that bit, and then what we'll do is we'll add in our meat. Okay, so we've got our pre-fry lighted dish. It's all covered, so nothing's going to stick to that. And what we'll do is we'll just, in fact, I might get a bigger spoon. Hold on. So just slowly dip this in. So what we'll do is we will pop it in the oven for 15 minutes initially, and we'll check on it then and see how things are going. I'll have a wee look at it maybe in another 5 minutes after that and just double check it with the temperature probe to make sure that it's cooked through. So yeah, we'll see you at the end once it's all ready. Hey guys, so we have cooked our quiche in the oven as directed. I did pop it in for a little bit longer than it does say because of the extra moisture from the vegetables, but as with whatever you put in it, you will need to judge that for yourselves at home. As I said earlier, making sure that it's cooked thoroughly all the way through, and if you do have a temperature probe like we have, you can get them on Amazon really cheap, but they are a really useful tool to have that we use more and more of nowadays. But certainly I think it's turned out, looking at how it looks at the moment, it looks really good. It's all fully cooked, and as you can see we've got some nice browning on the top. We didn't add cheese to ours this time round, but it's completely up to yourself at home what you put in it. Like I said, it's what we had in the fridge and we wanted to use it up in a nice healthy way. So we've got some sort of crispy sort of tomatoes on top with our vegetables as we done earlier throughout with our chicken and our turkey bacon. We've also got some mushrooms in there as well, and I'm really looking forward to trying it. So what we'll do is we'll pop it down. I will try to cut a bit of it out so you can see what it looks like inside as well. So just bear with me a wee minute while I sort of slice this. I'll just sort of cut a small section. And Fingers crossed it comes away okay. There we go. So try not to drop it, but that is our crustless quiche. So lots of vegetables in there. It's not too dry, you know, depending on what veg you use, it may be a little bit more moist than what other ingredients you use at other times, but this is one of my favourites. There's a lot of flavour in it. We've added a lot of salt and pepper. We've also got some Slimming World chips in the air fryer, which we've made to go on the side, and we've popped some basically salt and chilli sort of seasoning on there. So salt, pepper, chilli flakes, and a little bit of Chinese 5 spice, because that's what we like. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. All in all, for all of this, I believe it's around 1 sin, but best to check for yourselves at home. I won't be regularly giving out the sin values just because each person is on a different sort of journey to me, and so you need to, you know, choose and change your foods accordingly. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been a good video to watch, a slightly different sort of method of us filming today. I hope it's worked out all right for yourselves at home, and I'll catch you on the next one. So thanks, bye.